No, there was no. It wasn't even that cold, actually. I mean, for Saratoga standards, it wasn't.
Yeah,
that,
we're not getting.
cold.
We're getting more complaints about the cold from the Floridians than the Saratogians.
Well, it is hard when it's cold there. But I did see racing's, greatest person, Najee Thompson, so that was good. And he actually, there was a brief moment when he kind of reached for the check. It was a half-hearted attempt, but I got to tell you,
It was a cramp.
No,
it was a cramp.
It may have been.
Believe me.
Yeah, no, it was. I was taken.
It was from putting the North Face.
There wasn't
on.
a lot of resistance, but there
believe
was
me.
a brief reach.
Not today for Najee Thompson.
Anyway, got a lot to talk about. You, if you're not a member of NYRA Bets, come on. How many times we need to
Hurry up.
If everybody would sign up, we would stop.
We'd stop bothering you, yeah.
Promo code match200.
But then what will we talk about before the
of
show?
your initial deposit. Also, this is always one of
Here it
Anthony's
is.
most important moments, is he'll be up all throughout the night working on that Dubai card.
Firing away.
Friday AM. Do we know what time in the AM?
Andy, I mean.
Because the AM goes from midnight until noon. Do they know that? Do they know that AM is a pretty all-inclusive time period?
I think just in the spirit of NYRA, I believe the post time changes there as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, depending on the number of races or
spin the wheel, make the deal.
Yeah, if it was midnight, I'd be looking at it. Anyway, all right.
That's all we got.
Today's first race.
Wow.
That's all we got. Yeah.
All right.
Well, there's no show. Race number 1. We both picked the same horse, 2 Redheads. Why don't you talk about 2 Redheads?
Yeah, first time on the main. Well, I shouldn't say the main track. First time on the dirt, as this horse ran on the all-weather up at Woodbine a couple of times. So yeah, Linda Rice's barn is going well. There's just there's not much going on here. Do you want? This was more of a selection by attrition for me. I don't know.
One day you're going to actually tell people why you like a specific
I don't like
horse.
the rest of them.
Okay.
I mean, that's
but
the
one
worst
day
reason
you'll
in
come
the
on the
world.
show. It's going to be
But
incredible.
that's
We're
the
going to have
worst
like
reason.
fireworks.
Listen,
Anthony's going to have the
no,
day
I
where Anthony goes,
listen,
I actually like this horse because.
Here's the funny thing. I don't give you. Here's the thing. I put funny in there. There were 2 horses on the card that were interesting today. Both of them came out. Okay. This was a race where this was a pick just again made by attrition. I didn't want the horses that had run on the dirt. I just picked a little bit of a stranger. I know the horse is likely going to be the favorite, though. I think Cairo Sugar will be the chalk by the time post time runs around. Right now, I mean, an hour and plus to post. I don't know. I just thought the horse, first time state breds, first time dirt. Linda's barn's going well. I just picked 2 Redheads. I didn't want Cairo Sugar. She had enough chances for me.
Okay, I'll talk about the race. Obviously, Cairo Sugar can win this race. Cairo Sugar ran fine last time, lost to we'll take a look at that race, lost to a heavy favorite, a first-time starter for trainer Bill Mott that was even money, $1 paid $4.30. It was the first of the 3 firsters that won. Got a perfect trip, but ran fine in there. Whether or not this horse will be favored, I don't know, I don't care. But this horse's last race are fine, gets Lasix the first time, and is an extremely logical horse. There's nothing not to like about this horse in the field. There's 2 fuzzies. That's what it comes down to. There's 2 fuzzies. The rest of them just don't appear to be very good. One of them is Burning Honor, who's inside of this horse, who ran only once in the dirt and ran a very good field up in Saratoga. It was a bit green. I'm not sure. I thought they kind of overdid it. I don't really know what very green means. But regardless, you watch the race. It does feel like a horse that could run better than the second-time starter, Kendrick Carmouche. Happy birthday to him. It was his birthday yesterday. I didn't even know. I was texting him last night, and I saw him this morning. Somebody wished him happy birthday. I felt like the biggest jerk. I didn't know it was his birthday, but happy birthday, Kendrick.
So the problem is, you're 100% right. She's a fuzzy, but she's 7-2 on the morning line.
Well, but because she hasn't proven herself not to be bad. She's going to get bet because she ran on the turf, and she ran well enough on the turf to win here. And that's the problem with her. The rest of them just don't seem very good. As far as 2 Redheads, first of all, it's an entire dirt family. Why this horse, Mark Casse had this horse, and I know it's stabled in Woodbine, but why would you take this horse to Woodbine? Not only is it a dirt pedigree, but it's a New York bred. And rightfully so, this horse is in a different barn and is winning right. So unless the owner said, we want to run this horse up in synthetic, why would you possibly take a New York bred with a complete and total dirt pedigree up to Woodbine?
He didn't really have anything here.
What's the difference? It's
Well, I don't think you're going to go to Florida.
Well, then the connections, she should say the connections, you need to give this horse to somebody that is going to bring this horse to New York.
In a utopian world, yes.
No, utopian world. Mark's got a lot of horses.
Yeah, I
He's got a lot of horses.
but that's not.
I found this goofy stat for Linda. She's 2 for 2, first of her trainer switch synthetic to dirt for where it's worth. Just sort of a funny thing. And this horse is a total dirt pedigree. And, I mean, I don't know what a New York bred is doing with a dirt pedigree running up at Woodbine. It just makes no sense
That's not going to happen often.
It's a tough enough world. It's a tough enough game. No.
You're not going to give horses up, Andy. That just doesn't happen.
The owners then should have said to Mark, if you're not going to run the horse in New York, we'll give it to somebody else.
Well, DJ, they have a good relationship with Mark and Linda, so they gave the horse was with Mark. They gave the horse a chance.
Good thing this horse was running in Woodbine.
Yeah. Well, the horse isn't going to go. That's what my point
is-
is. The horse wasn't going to go to Florida because this horse's destiny was to be
He might
against
have
New
gone
York.
to, gone to Argentina. He might as well. He went down and went up to Canada. Why should he go anywhere but New York? This horse, a New York bred.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just telling
game
you
is
what
tough
the,
enough,
what the
Anthony.
logic most likely was.
There's no logic. There's no defendable logic. They did something that was not
defending. I'm just
defendable.
telling you what likely happened here.
I don't know what likely did or didn't happen, but I know that taking New York breds
It's
that are
an
bred
easier
for
shift
dirt
from
and
Woodbine
running them
than
up
Florida.
to Woodbine, bringing up to Woodbine is not the right move. That I know.
You're asking why, and I'm telling you
I'm
what
not asking
likely
why.
happened.
I'm not asking why. I'm saying it just makes no sense.
I don't
and
disagree.
the reality of the game is, well, you like to defend what people do in
I'm
racing.
not defending.
I like to point it
I'm
out.
not defending at all. I'm just telling you what likely happened.
I
That's
don't
the
know
likely
what likely
answer
happened. I don't
to
care.
to
But
what
the
happened.
bottom line is that this is a very, very difficult game.
Well, I think the people out there might care to happen because it makes no sense. You are 100% right.
You finish.
This whole
Just
thing
finish.
makes no sense.
Let me know when you're done.
Well, I'm just telling you, this
Let
whole
me know
thing
when
makes
you're
no sense.
Okay, let me know. You're done. So let me
I
know.
agree with you.
Okay, are you done?
You're arguing with me when I'm
No,
agreeing
I was
with
actually
you.
just trying to finish my sentence, but it's okay.
Well, you're trying to make. I'm just trying to explain to people out there that what the logic is sometimes. You know, you've never done anything on the backstretch. There are.
Oh, you're going to pull out my favorite crap line. You don't even do
No,
things in the
Andy,
backstretch.
Andy,
Anthony, let me just finish for
Andy.
once. No, let me finish for once. The reality is the game is difficult, and people make it more difficult by making unsound decisions. That's all I have to say. That's all I tried to say.
And I'm just trying to explain to people.
I understand. You're
what
defending the backstretch. You defend the backstretch.
I'm not
I don't.
defending
Yes, you do.
anybody.
You do.
I'm just trying to explain what can happen sometimes.
I understand what can happen. I'm not a moron. But I can also understand there are decisions made that are foolish.
And I don't disagree
Hey,
with that
maybe
at all.
the owners said to Mark, we want to run this horse in synthetic for all I know.
Maybe.
I'm not blaming
Maybe.
anybody, but it's a bad. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Well, I'm
I don't-
blaming. I'm saying
it was
a
a
dumb
dumb
decision
move.
was made.
I don't disagree.
All right, race number 2. Know-it-all Audrey will be a heavy favorite in here. She is the horse to beat. I am not her biggest fan. She is the controlling speed. I'm a little bit suspect of this horse. This horse suddenly got good. The barn was going well. The barn has cooled off a little bit. She ran a okay race last time. There's nothing wrong with the race. A little bit subpar from a speed figure standpoint. A little subpar. I don't trust this horse. She may win, but I'm not betting her.
But
Heavy
doesn't that race last time still beat these horses?
I understand. I'm not so confident that she's going to run that
Okay.
race last time, obviously.
Bustin' Bay, I think if Katie Davis, who's aboard Bustin' Day today again, I think she gave Bustin' Bay a pretty good ride last time because she chased and she kind of had a chase last time. She's going to have to do the same thing with Know-It-all Audrey. She cannot let Know-It-all Audrey get loose.
She'll be sitting second. To
Yeah,
Know-It-all.
she can't let her get loose.
Well, she's going to be loose.
She's
a
gonna.
speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was gonna be. I thought even if
I
Know-It-all
understand she's going to
Audrey,
be 3 to 5 or 2 to 5.
Yeah.
I get it. I
even
understand.
if she's on the other side of the mountain right now on the form cycle, I still think she just has too much of a tactical
She was a
edge.
horse that not that long ago would have been 30 to 1 in this race. And
Well,
I kind
what's
of,
left of this race? Yeah, I guess.
based on her form in June, she would have been 30 to 1 in this race, or 20 to 1, or 18 to 1, or 13 to 1. She wouldn't have been single digits. And I kind of wonder if she's a horse that's going to be heading to the downward cycle, so I don't mind taking a shot against her. And the truth is, there's nobody in here that can't win. Mia Be a Star can win. Now, Rainy Persaud has very weak numbers coming off of wins. Now, he obviously doesn't have a pretty high percentage, but he's 3% coming off wins. And when he has horses that win, they're usually in decent form. He'll have horses that win, lose, and then come back and win a next start. Mia Be a Star ran well last time. I didn't think the rail was a huge advantage. She came scooting up the rail to win it. It's a deceptive short comment in there. As far as
She had a great setup last time too.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. They weren't exactly flying.
Shadow was pressing Tough Street. I thought they were going
Street's not
fast
very
enough.
good. But Bustin' Bay, as far as Bustin' Bay, she's going to be sitting second. And to me, she's the likeliest upsetter in this race if you want to go against Know-It-all Audrey, and I do. That's all. Race number 3. Race number 3, boy, there is not much form here. You've gone to the 8 Old Point.
Yeah, coming off taking the big drop from the special weight ranks, a little bit of a layoff coming in from Kentucky. Man, Tiger Town Boy tried this level last time and he didn't do any running.
Well, he did about exactly as much running as Old Point did, to be fair. He
right,
just did it against
but at least
cheaper
Old Point
horses.
did the running against the special weight, and I'm just hoping
Well,
the drops enough.
To be fair, look at Tiger Town Boy's first. I don't like Tiger Town Boy. I picked him third. I'm not saying he can't win. But look at his first race. That was against maiden specials. He didn't run any different. His speed figures was very similar.
Now, I just want the
points.
horse. The two other contenders in the race have run against the tag, have run for the tag before. I just want the horse that hasn't run for the tag.
Todd Pletcher has interesting numbers with his maiden special weight to maiden claimer drop-down numbers. He wins at a high percentage, 37% at NYRA, 17 for 46, but it's a $1.71 ROI. And it's not a terrible ROI, it's right around the takeout. And Todd's horses take a lot of money, but it makes horses like this sort of poor wagers because they don't return a lot. I did find a very funny stat for him. 4-year-olds and up, maiden special weight to maiden claimer on the dirt. He's 5 for 6 with a 273 ROI. But then again, you're talking about horses that are paying $3 and change, and they all won at Gulfstream. So, won in New York and paid $280. In November of 2018, so 4 years ago, he won one in New York at 2-5. The other 5 were all at Gulfstream, and they all paid right around $3, but he did win with them. Now, this is not going to be a $3 horse. I watched both of the races this horse ran. This horse did
I bet him
absolutely
last time.
no running at
He was
any
awful
point
last
in
time.
either race that he was in. He was way back. Irad was trying with him. It's not like Irad just gave up on him. Luis Saez was trying hard with this horse. He got him in very good position, and he just backed up. But, as you say, he's meeting a bad field. As far as Norgay, we'll take a look at his race 2 back. And I don't love this field he's coming out of. At the end of the day, Barn won with a ridiculous horse here on Saturday that ran huge to win. I don't love him, but I think that Pletcher's going to be favored just because, and I think this horse is a more likely winner.
Yeah, Pletcher's favorite on the morning line. He'll be the favorite.
And I'm not going to
I
be
just want the
surprised when
horse
Todd
that's-
wins. I just don't want
want
to
the
take that
horse
horse.
that's disappointed less that hasn't. But
I hear
mean,
you.
they could all win.
But this
All
horse
three
has
of them
only
could
been
win.
in David's barn 2 races, runs this race.
You feel like
probably
this
the horse
time
to beat.
around for Jacobson, there's just such a randomness as the horses that run and don't run.
I'm sorry, there wasn't a randomness before?
I feel like there's more of a randomness now.
I don't, but okay. I just think he's run less horses. I think
you
he
think
ran
that's
more
what it is?
horses.
No, that'd be
so,
right.
Yeah, I just think it's, but it is, I agree with you. I agree that there's randomness. The weird horse in here is Proven Hope, who at one time in his career would smother this field. He was pathetic first time for Rudy last time.
Awful.
Absolutely pathetic.
Took money, was the
Didn't really get bet. He actually looked like he'd be a very short price. He was an extremely short price in multi-race bets, and he went down from 7-2 to 2-1 late. He actually didn't get bet that heavily. That I noticed, and that I wondered about. But he ran like he can't run a step. We'll see. There was a time that he would destroy this field. Race number 4. Not a whole lot going on in race number 4 either. We'll take a look at the replay 3 races back. The horse you have on top, Winning Connection. I'll let you talk about
This
it.
was one of the races I didn't put the horse on top, but I wanted to mess around with Tom Morley's horse a little bit. 6 will be rich.
Why not pick him on top?
Because I just thought
he scratched anyway.
Yeah, he scratched. I just thought this horse would get loose from the rail. Winning Connection. The blinker experiment did not work last time out. Blinkers come off first time Lasix. I would imagine Dylan's just going to put this horse on the front end.
You think this horse is definitely faster than Please Baby?
Yeah,
I don't.
I do.
Okay. It's close.
I would imagine he just puts this horse on the front end with the Lasix and getting back to the blinkers off. Yeah, I can't imagine he's going to mess around.
Not
from
been
the-
involved
from-
in
from the
very
fence.
fast paces.
No, I know. I know he hasn't, but I just imagine from the iron, he's not going to mess around. He'll just go to the top. I didn't.
Certainly not faster than Neuendijk. I mean, Neuendijk is supposed to be in front in this field, frankly, and I'm not sure why Jorge Vargas, who's an aggressive rider, would think about rating him. I mean, I'm not saying Winning Connection can't win without the lead. I wouldn't just take him on I mean, I think if you're taking a horse like this, who's going to be
Where's
vying
Jose
for
Gomez today?
favoritism.
Jose Gomez have days today? No, he's riding later. Oh, it was weird to see him off of Neuendijk.
Neuendijk gets Lasix the first time. I think he's likely to be the speed in this race. I don't have a problem with Winning Connection. I don't particularly like him. I don't particularly like Please Baby. But at the end of the day, given what's in this field, I don't think Neuendijk's very good. If it's a big speed track, maybe he can wire the field. But I just feel like the 2 or 7 are sort of supposed to win this race, to be honest with you. I mean, the Lone Fuzzy is practically mine, who I tried last time against better horses, but he was awful last time. He didn't do any running at all first time in the dirt. Maybe a wet track will help him, maybe, I don't know. But he was terrible last time. Interestingly enough, do you see that Matt Cantermachi, they're bringing...
The Turkish rider.
Yeah, he's good. David Aragona put up his stats on Twitter yesterday. He's won 1,200 races over there.
I was talking to Ilkay 2 Sundays ago.
Is he staying here, the Turkish rider?
You know what? That was kind of on a fence. They tried. They've been talking about this for like 4 or 5 months, and they just decided that this was the best time to do this.
I think it's great. I think it's very cool.
It'll be fun.
Listen, I mean, I've
They
got.
tried doing it. Rudy did it with the leading rider in Puerto Rico.
Well, we've had a lot of riders from Puerto Rico. I don't know.
No,
if you've
but the
noticed
leading
over
rider
years.
came for a little while, and then he wound up going back, and then Ilkay and Mert
We have not a lot of Turkish
thought
riders who
about.
come
No.
over.
They talked about doing this a few years ago, and it didn't work out. Now they're going to try it.
A lot of Turkish fans, tons of followers from
This will be
Turkey on
fun.
Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him ride. A successful rider. He's riding here on Saturday. I think he's got 4 mounts on Saturday. We'll talk more about it then. We'll be back after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile, Andy Surley, and thanks to our sponsor at Saratoga Water. If Kyle wasn't sleeping, he could bring over some Saratoga Waters, but he's a little busy. He's got something going on there. Race number five was absolutely eviscerated by scratches. And a lot of the interesting horses to talk about in this race came out, but also, more importantly, a lot of the speed came out of this race. And it really changes the dynamic of the race completely. You have the number 8 on top, Mass Marauder.
Yeah, this race gets a little goofy, doesn't it?
Well, it just
you
changed
might
the
have
race
the
completely.
you might have the speed now. I mean, even though your horse really hasn't shown, your horse hasn't sprinted in a while. I would imagine Breaking Stones is going to be
Breaking
in
Stones
front.
supposed to be in front?
Yeah, Breaking Yours is just sitting a nice, to use some harness parlance, a little loose pocket second here. I kind of just disregard. I don't like either of those two horses. I have them nowhere, and I have them third and fourth rather. I just, to me, Daddy Knows is just, way past the prime. So I handicapped the race the way I had it pretty much before the scratches. I just thought Mass Marauder, and that race still lives on the island, but it was a race here at Aqueduct with moisture in the track. I would imagine by the time we run the 5th, this track will be downgraded to muddy or maybe even sloppy if the rain continues to fall like it's supposed to.
Well, you're betting him off his 96 buyer?
I'm
Not
betting
going
him
that
off.
race.
I'm betting him off the fact that this race has been broken apart by the scratches.
Well, no,
and
but you had him on top beforehand.
I did, yeah, because
Which is fine, but
because
tell
I'm
us.
not, because I do feel like his wet track form is overall better than his dry track form, and I would imagine it's going to be considerably wet by the time post time comes, and I think he has an edge over these horses. I wasn't betting Quick Flash back off of the quick.
Other than his one ridiculous race here on a muddy,
Well,
harrowed track, by the way, it was actually good.
The race after that would listen to your heart.
It was the same as the race after that behind St. Selby.
The race last time, but at the very least, he handles it. And
Yeah,
some
he
of
handles
the
a wet
others
track,
in
but he's
here-
not better than a wet track.
some of
He's
the
a dry
others-
track.
Well, his
not.
best race was on that wet
Yeah,
track.
but that race lives in isolation. That race should be investigated, frankly. Where the heck did that race come from? I mean, that's the most ridiculous race I've ever seen. He ran a 96 buyer. He literally ran 10 lengths better than he's ever run before
And
and
never
ever
did
run
again.
after.
Yeah.
So I have no idea where that
They
race
never
came
adjusted it. A race never was.
They shouldn't be
was never
adjusted. It's not like he pointed. Even if they should adjust it, it was an 88. I don't know where the heck it came from. I mean, it's ridiculous. But sometimes horses run crazy races. But other than that, his form is pretty much consistent, and he's the same on dry and wet tracks. He actually ran the same figure on a turf track. That's the weirdest race of all. Though I guess he was a turf horse before. He can win. He's fine. He's got no speed. That's what hurts him in this race. But his recent form is good enough to win here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a very logical horse. He was going to be a short price even before the scratches.
This
right?
was a strange race before because Quick Flash he's out now, but Quick Flash wasn't a reliable horse coming back off the quick break on the rise for a barn that hasn't won a race in a very long time. So it was a goofy race before the scratches. It becomes an even goofier race after, but it loses some value because I didn't want Quick Flash on top, but now everybody else is going to come down 2 or 3 points.
What's the problem with Microsecond, Rudy's other horse?
Is he a dirt horse?
He ran a 64, 55, and 72 in his first 3 starts. He improved.
2 years ago. I mean, that's the problem too. Like this horse has had a lot
So
of long
he forgot
layoffs.
he could run in the dirt.
I'm sorry.
He forgot he could run in the dirt.
He
I mean, he
hasn't-
did run fine. It was his third start. He ran a 72 buyer going a mile to 16.
My bigger problem with him are the layoff lines. I mean, maybe he can still run on the dirt. He just hasn't run on the dirt.
I'm
in
not
2.5
in love with him
years.
either. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I hear you, but I mean, I'm not going to be surprised.
He's
if
supposed to be the
runs
horse that
fine
trips out because he's supposed to sit second to a horse in Breaking Stones who probably doesn't want to go 7/8, and who's not.
Yeah, I could have put him on top, Breaking Stones. Double Shot is the funny horse in here. I probably could have put him on top over Microsecond. I don't obviously have a strong opinion. The problem with this race was I wanted to bet against Dandy Dancing, I wanted to bet against Cliff Clash, and I picked Running with Scissors. So not only did I want to bet against two horses that were short priced that got
Now the
scratched,
horse was scratched that you
the horse
wanted to
I
bet
wanted
on.
to pick was scratched. So I moved my picks around because I don't want Mass Marauder at short price in this race, and I think he will be favored because of the layoffs and because he's a consistent dirt horse.
Yeah.
And by the way, he should be favored.
he should be.
He is
He
the
should be
likely
the favorite in here, but who do you don't want to bet on? I got it. Yeah.
The thing about Double Shot is he is off the claim for Chris Englehart. He is moving off of the claim. The problem is now he gets no pace to run.
None.
But I won't be shocked if he wins this race. I could have put him on top. I'm going to focus on 4 and 6 here. Try to beat the 8. We'll see how it plays out. Hard to be that enthusiastic at this point. Big scratch in race number 6 when Ragtime Blues came out. You have the 2 Meet Trey Porciento. We'll show the Monmouth race 3 back up here. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's another one. Like I'm betting him based on his class. I shouldn't even say betting him, picking him based on his class, especially with Ragtime Blues coming out. I mean, he has such a back class edge on this bunch now. Now he's been scratched at least twice.
Wasn't he entered cheaper than this?
He was entered cheaper than this as well. Yeah, I think he was entered he might have been entered for the 8.
He was entered cheaper.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we were running 8s yet when he was entered.
You think it was?
You might be right, but I don't know.
Maybe it
that
was
we
for
were
the
running
10 or the
8s.
12-5. You might be
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you might be right too.
Look it up.
See, I thought he was entered twice, and he came out both times, and it might have been 10 or 12-5, and then for the 8. Whatever the case is, I thought he was entered for the bottom. I think it's a good sign that he came out for the bottom and he's in for the 20, because they would have lined up for him. They were going to line up for him for that. He still might go for the 20.
No.
I'm sorry.
No one's claiming him.
You don't understand how they claim horses around here, man.
I know. I've won plenty of lunches betting against your claim ideas, but okay.
Okay.
I
I bet you they claim this horse today.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, 125.
Okay. One lunch. Yeah, I mean, again, with Ragtime Blues out of here, he has a little bit of a class edge. And it's not even that he's facing horses that are in form. I mean, nobody's hit the board.
I don't like B. Trey Porciento in here. If he wins, I'm
Well,
going
he's
to
one of your boys, too. You don't like him. Wow, you don't have him anywhere.
Yeah, I don't like him at all in this race.
No winning drive? Wow. Those 2 horses beat these on memory. No first-time actress for you in what's left in this field with Ragtime Blues
He's
coming
not
out.
first-time actress.
First time back to actress.
So what? How did Rob do with him before? Did he go with him? He ran horrifically. It's fine. You want to have him? I know the guy's winning every race he runs. I get it, but I don't want any part of him. I don't like that horse, and I don't like Meet Trey Porciento. I thought it was an interesting race. I think FF Rocket has been running against significantly better horses in his race. I think you go back to some of his races, they're just fast enough to win this race. I don't have any issue with him whatsoever. I think he makes plenty of sense. My problem is, Wet Track's obviously a monkey wrench in this thing. I think the 3 Karis makes a lot of sense in this race. I think he's actually just fits this race just fine. It's Randy Persaud. I mean, it's a positive rider change. The trainer change. This horse, it's not a positive rider change, it's a positive trainer change. This horse was being trained by somebody who, mysteriously, their horses were blowing up. You were picking them. They were blowing up. They were running huge races left and right. But since there were some issues and stuff, their horses can't get out of their own way. And now they're going to a guy whose horses, frankly, are winning, and he's good off the claim. So I thought this horse was a little bit interesting.
Just the trainer change.
I know it is. I look him up. I'm aware of it. But I don't care. I want to take this course. I think he's very interesting. There's a new player in here. Mount Travers has had some excuse. He's been on dead rails. He got the wrong ride last time. He's actually a little bit interesting in this race. Magnificent Chrome, he's got plenty of races that could win this race on memory. Frankly, the last race he ran doesn't make him a non-contender in this race. And he's going to be a gigantic price in here. But he was in very good form, and it's not as though his form completely fell apart for the claim. He just ran him in absolutely preposterous spots. I think he makes plenty of sense in here. He's running a logical spot. I don't love him, but I'm not going to be surprised when he shows up and runs okay in here. No, I don't want to take Meet Trey Porciento at a short price, a horse that was entered cheaper, that runs sporadically. I think he's extremely untrustworthy. He could win. So could Winning Drive. Winning Drive, though, he's not exactly a win machine, Winning Drive.
No, but I'm just...
I don't like him. He wins, I lose. I'm okay. I lose all the time. And I'll lose this race, too.
Mount
But I
Travers,
think these horses short prices are horrible.
Mount Travers is a sneaky horse because he did not get the right ride last time.
But he also was on a dead rail the time before that. He ran against Amundsen the time before that, and Ragtime Blues. When Ragtime Blues ran that ridiculous race, another race that lives in complete and total isolation to every other race he's ever run. I have no idea where the heck that race came from. It's another goofy race out there. Listen, they run goofy races sometimes, but I think this is a race that's chock full of untrustworthy horses, and I'd rather take horses with better prices that are a little bit interesting here. I think the trainer switch to Randy Persona is a very, very interesting one with the number 3 horse.
Okay.
Race number 7, this came up a really, really fun race. One of the questions you have to ask yourself is what you're doing with Dr. Ardito, who will show his last race. He obviously in good form. I don't trust this horse, but he's kind of the horse to beat. And Chad Brown has very poor ROI, but very good percentage numbers with his layoff horses.
With the break, yeah. I want him at a little bit more ground. He looks like the kind of horse to me. It takes him a little bit while to get his engine going.
He was in front at the top of the
I
stretch.
know, but he's a little bit of a
So.
grinder, and I think now he's running against horses. 3 Jokers, 7 Lilies, 42 Ace. I think Nabokov and St. Tappet are a little tougher. And when I say little, I think they're a lot tougher.
But he ran fast races.
That's fine. I think he's going to have to, and again, to me, he's a little bit of a grinder. So I think he's going to have to get his act in gear a little sooner, and now having to do it off a layoff, going shorter, it's a little suspect as the favorite. He is going to be 8-5 today. David has him 5-2. I don't buy it.
I don't agree with you. I think it's extremely tough to evaluate what price horses are going to be off layoffs.
And this horse won 4 races in a row for Chad Brown. I think this horse is going to be 8-5 today.
Okay, you think he's going to be 8-5. I don't know that he is or isn't, but I'll trust in David.
Okay.
He's a very good morning line maker. I'll trust his
I'll
morning
bet you
line.
he's under 2-1.
Okay. I'll take, who was scratched? Anybody scratched it? No, because he would have made him 2-1 with the scratches, so there's no vig in that.
Glory Road was 8-1.
Yes.
Gulfstream Way was 6-1. And American Gentleman was 20-1.
Okay, so we've taken out 5%. We've taken out 5%, 11%.
I'll give you 9-5 as a push.
5%, 11%,
Give you 9 to 5 as a
and
push.
15% of the pool. So we've taken out 30% of the pool, and you're saying a horse that's 5-2 morning line is going to be, no, I'm just telling you.
I'll give you
no.
9-5 a push.
No.
You got 2-1.
The answer is no.
Okay.
But I won't be shocked if he's short, but I'm not going to guarantee he's going to be short. But 30% of the morning line was taken out of here. A quarter of the percentages he
A
used
Chad
was
Brown
taken
horse that's won 4 races in a row.
I know. He's got another horse in there, Chad Brown, Nabokov. And I think Nabokov has come into his own when he's gone back to these one-turn races. And I remember I had this conversation with Chad Brown before he won 2 back when I told him I was going to pick him. And he said I had a lot of heart. I just said I think he's a horse that's probably going to benefit from less distance in his races. Now, his last figure, 97, that's not a figure that I would want to bet any horse up because it looks like that figure from a reliability standpoint is about 10 points high. I'm not saying they run a fast race, but it doesn't hold up. They put a lot of distance between the other horses in there, and it makes sense in a certain way from that respect, but it does not make sense at all for Kinetic Sky, who didn't run well in a subsequent start, or even close to that figure, I should say. Having said that, at least he's in recently good form, and I think this horse is in good form. I think he's kind of an improving horse, so I'll take him over the horse that hasn't run. But I get it with St. Tappet. We'll take a look at his race when he ran at Saratoga on a sealed track. It wasn't that wet. It really wasn't wet. It's listed as good. We had gotten a little rain. There's not a lot of moisture in it. It was sealed and goofy. I don't know. The question with this horse, Anthony, is he a finished product?
No.
Or is Todd?
I don't think he's a finished product.
Obviously not. You picked him. And I didn't say he wasn't. I said the question with him is whether or not he's a finished product or Todd's just been running with the wrong distance. I think he's been running with the wrong distance, but I'm very suspect. This horse, I'm very suspect of his form. And Todd's numbers cutting back, they're awful. Now, this is for Todd Pletcher. The guy is in his mid-20s to 30% with $1.75 or higher ROI on everything. Everything. I mean, his stats are tremendous. He has as good stats for a high percentage barn, for a barn that takes a lot of money, as any trainer consistently out there. And he's got terrible turnback.
I think with his pedigree, you have to stretch him out.
I understand.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
Everybody does. You tap it, put it for a horse for me.
Right, and you could say, what's he doing here in the middle of the winter? Well, you know what?
It's the race he belongs
there's
in.
84,000 reasons for he's here. This is a good pot. Yeah. This is where he belongs right now. He's going to have to earn his way back into stakes tries. He gave him 2 shots in stakes company. The way he ran in the 2 stakes without the Lasix, he looks like a horse that might benefit from getting the Lasix back. I don't think he wants to go that far. I think he's proven that in all 3 of his
I
route
said it
races.
last time before the Discovery, but I'm just.
Let him cut back. Let him find the right spot. You know, he's got some tactical speed. He's got horses in here. He's got one of the Lynn Cash horses going to the lead who's got speed from the rail.
No.
Nuclear Optional being on the front end. Yeah, but if you don't think the horse under the gun from the rail is going to be at the very least forward, he can't keep up with Nuclear Option, but he'll be forward.
Okay.
And
Anthony,
we've seen
the 3 Nuclear Options going to be in front. Let's just not
That's
pretend
fine,
that
but
we're making
he'll
things
be
up.
he'll be
He can
pressing.
do whatever he wants, but
That's
and
fine.
he's not
He'll
a
be
factor
pressing.
anyway. But Nuclear Option will be
And
in
no
front.
offense, you told me 3 horses Saturday wouldn't be on the lead. They were all in the lead.
No, they weren't.
They
But
were
that's,
all in
you,
the lead.
You could just make go
one
ahead,
of them
make
were
all
on the
the
lead.
things you want up.
Every one of them were on the
I'm used to
lead.
people making things up about me. They do it on the internet
Every
every day.
one of them were on the
I'm
lead.
sure they were. Okay, we'll go through that.
Every
Okay,
one
so
of them
who
were
are
on
the
the lead.
speeds? The 1 is going to
The
be in.
3 is the race is going to line up 3-1. But if you think
But who said the race wasn't going to line up 3-1?
nobody,
Okay.
But I just said he's going to be pressing from the rail. This horse is going to get the right trip. He's cutting back. He's getting the Lasix back. And I just think Nabokov kind of runs randomly. I think the other horse is facing the toughest field he has easily ever faced. And I'm a Dr. Ardito fan. I just think he needs a little bit more ground, and he's facing a much tougher bunch than he's
I think to come up
faced.
here,
At 8-5, because I think he's going to be short.
I picked the 8 second. But to come up here and say, you're not at all concerned that the 8's a finished product, I think that's irresponsible.
Well,
But
he's
we
2 for 2 sprinting with Lasix. He's gone a mile and 3/16.
Once again,
a mile and
we
an eighth, and a
disagree.
mile and an eighth.
We disagree.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're right.
I didn't say it did, but it doesn't make it. The point is, Anthony, the point of handicapping, believe it or not, and you're going to let me finish for once, is to consider.
You're telling me I'm going to let you finish when all you do is interrupt.
Hey, this is
I'm sick of you interrupting.
Anthony, please.
Go back to Saturday, buddy. 3 for 3. They were all. Boy, and I took the brunt of it because I bet these idiots that didn't go to the lead. That was on me.
Okay, once again, I'm going to try to finish this, but feel free to interrupt again. The point of handicapping is to consider all possibilities, is to think, what do I think the chance, what do I think's going on with this horse? Do I think it was just the distance, or do I think, what do I think? I don't know, Anthony. I think the distance played a role, but I think there's a very real possibility that this is a horse, because don't forget, this horse ran well on a track that was sealed three back, and I know he didn't run a step in that race. So I think there's a possibility that this is a horse that's seen his best days. That's all. I picked him second. It's not like I'm taking a huge stand against him by any means.
The
But
sealed race in Saratoga you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. But he didn't have the Lasix, Andy.
I don't care.
67 and 49
I know.
buyers.
We've been through that Lasix thing so many times, and there's an enormous amount of randomness to it. Anyhow, I think Gagetown is dangerous. The truth is, this horse that ran a good race before, he was claimed last time. It's an unreliable trainer, but it's a trainer's horses seem to jump up and run. I think the 1A has a chance in this race. Listen, if speed is really carrying, I wouldn't completely discount Nuclear Option in this race going. I don't think anybody has to win this race. You've got a long layoff horse for Chad Brown. You've got Nabokov, who you're not wrong. Overall, he's facing some
There's
tougher horses
randomness,
with him.
right? There's a randomness to his
But
form.
I don't think, Anthony, I don't think you really spend a lot of time considering the possibilities of a number of horses in races. We're going to have to agree to disagree on that. Race number 8, Callaloo. If Callaloo runs back to his last race, he is going to win this race. We will show it. I am not overly confident, though, coming back a week later and stretching out to a mile.
This is a weird race because there are so many. I mean, I shouldn't say so many, but Callaloo comes back in the week. Red DGP comes back in the week. And I mean, even Quackenbush comes back in 19 days, coming in from the 40.
Well, lower level horses in the winter come back quite often. They sort of have to.
But I mean, but these aren't lower level. These are 2 maiden special weight horses that are coming back, and they're not only coming back in a week, they're stretching out.
Quackenbush is a lower level.
The Quackenbush is low. The other 2 are coming back in a week, and they're going another quarter of a mile. So to me, it's kind of and Red DGP started out for a tag, ran in the Stallion Series race, which you really can't consider. You know, those Stallion Series races, you're kind of committed to running in those races because there's such big money in their restricted races. I couldn't take. Well, you have Callaloo 4th. Yeah, I know. I didn't know. To me, you look at Refua, and it's kind of hard to say a maiden is class. Today's Flavors won 3 races. Ocean's Reserve steadily Bayard in the low 80s. Even Balthazar won 2 in a row, third in one of the Stallion Series races. Like the company this horse kept just lays over the field. Now he's 0 for 9. I hate taking these horses. Hate taking these horses. But if you're like me and you do think Callaloo is his toughest rival, and the horse is coming back in a week and has to deal with another quarter of a mile, I mean, I had nowhere else to go. You probably have the Fuzzy, the horse that's going to be the right price.
Gee, thanks.
I mean, you do. But, I mean, I thought the interesting horse, but he's a terrible price, is Central Pride. And he's had a lot of chances as well. But if he's the money on the morning line, and I'm assuming David made him that price because he's first-time actress. But he's a horse that's disappointed a handful of times now for the tag. If he's that price, you can't bet on him. But I thought he was the interesting horse because it is actress. He's a fresh gelding, and he at the very least has hit the board a couple of times going the mile. The other horse is 2-1 on the morning line. He's probably going to be the chalk, and I don't know, coming back in a week.
Okay. The Callaloo race is interesting. I think Red DGP is a little interesting out of that race because he's coming back, but he didn't do any running last time out. And he ran enough when he was running here earlier in his career to suggest that he's got more ability than last time. And I wouldn't be surprised if he runs better. Callaloo is obviously the horse to beat. Refua is fine in here. The others don't make a lot of sense. As far as the horses on the outside, I watched Let Me Drink's race a lot last time. That was a funny race. I know Photon's been a massive disappointment. Duckfat, who made a big price, actually was not as bad as his price was, but this horse was wide the entire way around the track, and I do think there's a possibility that the rail was the better place to be, even though the winner did close in there. But this horse stumbled badly at the start of that race and was bumped by the 11 afterwards. I wouldn't say it was a major trip, but I think this horse did have a little bit of trouble in there and actually ran okay. And the truth is, he's got enough speed that he can be forward in this race. And I'd like to see Kendrick, hopefully with a clean break, have this horse in very good position coming out at the start. I don't love Let Me Drink in here, and I don't have an argument. The 4 can win this race. Callaloo, obviously, he's the horse to be. He runs the last race. I don't trust him. Even the bottom has very good dirt breeding. I think he's got a very interesting dirt pedigree, but he ran so poorly in his one race that it's hard to believe he's even a thoroughbred. But he does have some dirt pedigree. But I'm going to take Let Me Drink, a horse that I think could be forward in here in race number 8.
Bottom ones took a little money too. They liked the horse a little bit, I remember.
Good call by them. Great opinion.
You see, something obviously happened. Horse was gone
Maybe just
7 months.
Then you should like him here if you think something happened.
No, I mean,
He has a dirt pedigree. He's
fresh
not a
gelding.
turf pedigree.
No, I know, but fresh gelding. Haven't seen the horse in a while. Kind of come back in a mile.
No, he's a have to?
No.
Frost Me. So after Frost Me, the Dam's actually an interesting horse. The Dam was a horse that came from California and came to New York and went to Chad Brown. And she actually won a race in Saratoga that Top Decile was making a return in her first race since the Breeders' Cup, and she bombed. And Kirova won 2 straight for Chad Brown, won that race. But it's really a dirt family all around. So that horse is a total fuzzy in here. And listen, if you think they like that horse and you think something went wrong,
they definitely liked it.
Well, it's a tough horse to leave off the top 4 if you thought they liked the horse first time and now is running on the right surface.
It was a Thursday at Belmont. Maggie interviewed Joey McIntyre after this race from the New Kids on the Block. How about
All right.
that?
That's today's card. We'll head on over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Head over to Naira Bets, play through Naira Bets, keep your money in the game. And we have 10 times points on the Dubai Racing Carnival. That starts tomorrow, and of course it's heading towards the Dubai World Cup. It's still 2+ months away. We are done. Chris Griffin just getting started. He'll have a reprise, scratch, and changes, and I'll see you throughout the day. Have a great day here at the Big A.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. The track is good and sealed. Race 1 and the early pick 5 are coming up. Here are today's scratches and changes.